Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you are keeping well. My name's Gary Turner, founder of Hexo Change and also corporate navigator. Feeling pretty raw today. What I'm going to do is share a blog. What I tend to do is try and narrate the blogs that I write on hexochangenow.com, where you can subscribe and get regular updates. 1 to 2 emails max per week from me. Just thoughts like this, blogs, vlogs, reflections, poems, right here, right now, live stream conversations, podcasts, a whole range of other content. So if that's of interest to you, do feel free to sign up at hexochangenow.com. But the real reason I'm here live today is actually to share my latest blog, which is called What Are We Really Doing Around Sustainability? Now, I always speak from the heart, but also always speak as me, as Gary Turner, not as the employer I work for or anybody else. I'm always speaking as me. So I'm going to share my screen so I can take you through this most recent blog that emerged yesterday. So again, importantly, this is my own perspective based on how I'm seeing the world, joining dots between my corporate day job, my global network, my lived experience. Okay. You can find a whole range of different blogs, poems, etc. on the website, hexochangenow.com. But the reason I feel so raw today is I really don't know, there's a lot of inner tension within me just around this. There's scientific evidence that we are headlong running off a cliff due to not just carbon, but the wildfires, the floods in the UK. Like, it's really getting extreme and really, really quickly. Yet the conversations within the corporate space, outside of that with friends and family, it's just, I don't know, it's just almost like just denial that it's actually happening, despite the evidence actually being out there. And it's just a really perplexing place to be. Now, I'm not saying to run around trying to blow SHIT up, but even trying to get into a meaningful dialogue with people in the corporate space around this topic, like meaningful, deep, not just surface level, net 2030, 2050, blah, blah, blah. Like, actually, what are we really doing? How do people feel? What are they taking home with them after being in work all day, around this topic? It's just not being discussed. So anyway, this is my way of trying to express is through blogs, writing and poetry. But here's my latest blog. What are we really doing around sustainability? Again, my own perspective, my own questions. The reason I'm also narrating these is to try and make them more accessible. Different people have different learning styles, different abilities, disabilities. That's another reason for narrating the written piece. So I'm hearing firsthand from multiple diverse data points within the chemicals industry, within energy, within supply chain, and more globally, that the investment markets are really pushing ESG and sustainability topics, as in really pushing. Maybe even too hard, too quickly. On the one side, this is really good to see. This makes us feel good. We can carry on with busy life as usual, believing that the world is changing for the better. But, and it is a big but, what if all of the Russian energy is actually about reinforcing the already outdated extractive and oppressive south to north capital and raw material flows, and nothing really about saving our species and the planet? This is an open question, and I'm inviting constructive challenge, emphasizing constructive. For example, what if sustainable aviation really is the red herring that I sense personally and am increasingly seeing is a huge misdirection and asking the wrong question, i.e., should we really be flying as much? Especially when the technology generally works and already houses enough oppression within it, i.e. extraction for rare earth metals, etc., that go into our technology. So it's, again, an open question and inviting constructive challenge. Who and what is being centered in amongst all of this energy around, this new financial energy? Let's make sure we're more sustainable, reporting on environmental sustainability, governance, etc. What's really being centered there? Is it the investment funds, my pension and your pension? Is it the funding for the next round of mergers and acquisitions for the next petrochemical plant development, or expanding and taking people's land to be able to build the next plants or plant the next crop? Or is it the people who's often in lands far away from our own context who actually have the nature-aligned wisdom and insight to help us really turn around our planetary and existential woes, and whom are being oppressed by the very system now saying it wants to save them? questions. So again, why do I share all this? Does it all seem a bit too big? Maybe, maybe not. I share this as I invite us all to be a lot more critical, connected, and curious in our thinking and our decision making, our ongoing, and this is all ongoing work in progress for me massively, particularly the last 12, 18 months. It's also, this post is an invitation to use our spot in the world, wherever that is and in whatever context, so that we speak up and ask questions and invite radical reimagining of our business models and our ways of interacting with one another, ourselves, and systems at large. One example and one way to do that of how I joined some dots recently around my so-called ethical investment funds, which house Rio Tinto, a miner, Shell, fossil fuel company, and other extractive industries. So you can find this on the Hexo Change Now website. You'll be able to click through directly, or you can find it on my Gary Turner Strategic Advisor YouTube channel. You'll be able to find this West Papua Financial Services and Modern Life, staying aware. What came up within this, why this is important, is that there's a big struggle in West Papua where they've got a lot of gold resources, a lot of rare earth metal resources, and they are basically unable to live within their own land and their own ecosystem locally. And it's one of the most biodiverse places on the planet, but we're losing that biodiversity, and people are fighting literally for their lives against these global North, Australian and North American mining companies that are trying to extract metals that go into our daily lives in the North. That's a bit of context. And there's actually the full Solidarity Gallery launch takes place next Monday, the 20th of December. So I invite you to come along to that if you're open and curious and willing to dive a bit deeper. So an open question from me is, can the financial markets be really that serious if they are packaging up extractive assets like mining, like fossil fuel manufacture as ethical? What dialogue and who was involved that led to that being agreed? Open question. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Again, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to offer the space and the questions to really explore this, because how the heck can those very people that are really excited about ESG, finance, developing more sustainable business, they're the ones that are funding this big expansion into tracking more ethical and sustainable business. But those very same people are dictating fossil fuels and mining companies to be ethical in what they're doing. Again, there's another debate to be had around what is ethical. Your version of ethical may be different to mine, but I think we can all be agreed that something that's taking away life rather than giving life, can that really be ethical? Open question. So again, an invitation to get curious, and I've got many more questions, and I'm sure you've got some as well, and I'd love to explore them with you if you're open. What I'm looking to do is what I'm calling some dreaming spaces, bit of a play on the word dream, which is DE is D. So basically degrowth, decenter ourselves. Re is reimagine, excuse me, recover from our addiction to modernity, regenerate the human spirit, rewild our imagination and our connectivity. And the aim part is around how do we actually take action individually and collectively towards trying to build a genuinely more connected and life-giving paradigm. So again, looking to hold space for that, connect, share, take action, and reimagine, specifically for folks like me in what we call the global North. So Western Europe, Australasia, North America, etc. The full launch again of the West Papua Solidarity Gallery takes place next Monday, the 20th of December. I joined the soft launch and it was deeply, deeply moving, harrowing as well, yet also hopeful, yet a real reality check as to where we really are in 2021. So an invitation to sign up. If you click through, again, if you go and find this blog on hexochangenow.com, you'll be able to click right through. And actually, I'll add that link as well, if it's not already there, onto the StreamYard, just to make sure that that's available for you. So yeah, I hope that you'll join me and do a bit of dreaming, but also taking action on the back of that. So that is the blog that came from yesterday. What are we really doing around sustainability? Again, challenge welcome, feedback. We'd love to get your thoughts, and stay safe and well. We're going into this recovery period that some of us call Christmas, some of us call it something else. And I invite you all to take some downtime, explore these questions, explore these topics with yourself, with those around you, better understand the systems that we all live off of, but also are damaging and in essence killing as well. So yeah, bit of a deep one, but necessary, and I feel a bit cathartic sharing it with whoever might be out there listening today. So take care, all the very best, and see you next time.